Oh, hey everybody, I'm Tracy Hamlin, and I'm so excited to share that I'm going to be coming your way every Monday night for an entire hour to spotlight some phenomenal unsigned artists from around the globe, as well as some amazing small businesses from my area that you need to know about. I'm also going to throw in a song or two. Yay! Something like that, a little something like that. Now, I'm going to need you guys to tell all your friends, your cousins, your aunties, your bosses, come on in here and join us. We're going to have so much fun. You don't want to miss this. I'll see you soon. Ooches of smooching. Are you ready? Tracy Hamlin Show. Tracy Hamlin Show. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, this is your life. You're living, and it's the only one you got. It's your life. You're living. Don't you think it's time that you ask yourself for what? This is your life, not a game that you play. It's your life, and you're throwing it away. You're around the worst one in our end of town, and everyone knows that I still love you so. Good evening and welcome to the Tracy Hamlin Show. I'm super excited that you all have been so supportive, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. Again, I'm Tracy Hamlin. I am an international recording artist and a jazz festival owner. My short song that I sang today was from my third album, and it's called This Is Your Life. As an independent artist traveling the world, I have come in contact and connected with some amazing, amazing talent. They are not necessarily household names or mainstream artists, but they are extraordinary. So my show is going to be a platform for some amazing talent that, again, may not be household names or mainstream artists, but they can benefit from opportunities to share their gifts. I'm also going to talk about small businesses in my area that you need to know about. So again, I'm so excited for the debut of the Tracy Hamlin Show. So excited that you all are here. On today's show, we are going to be talking to one of my favorite people. You guys know her from the iconic movie, The Color Purple, but she is an actor, she's a singer, and she is a voiceover artist. She's been on many, many TV shows like Devious Maids, Army Wives, and additional film credits include The Hunger Games, Daddy's Little Girls, Hidden Figures, and The Blind Side, just to name a few. She's currently starring in alongside Paula Patton and Richard Roundtree in BET One's Sacrifice. So I know you have seen this face, and I've gotten so many emails and text messages about ask her about this, and is this the same girl from the movie? And so folks are so excited. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome for the first time on the Tracy Hamlin Show, Miss Maria Howell. Maria, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my joy, girl. Anytime to spend time with you is amazing.
Oh,
thank you.
So thrilled to have you here. How are you today?
I am good. I'm good. During these times, we trying to figure it out day by day and keep it going and moving, but it's really good.
Indeed. Well, so happy to have you here. So, before we dive into your singing career, your acting career, I've been a huge fan of yours for years and just thrilled to be an honor to be able to call you friend. But before we dive into your singing and your acting career, you're
Mhm.
also a voiceover artist, and a lot of people they don't know what that is. So,
Well,
can you explain to us what that is and how you got involved?
actually, voiceover is when you speak and it's like when you hear and you don't see. So
Mhm.
anytime you see commercials, for example, AT&T commercials or any car commercial or whatever, you don't see the person's face, but you hear their voice, that's a voiceover. And under the umbrella of voiceovers, it could be anything from narration to audiobooks to cartoons to anything that where you're speaking and not seeing rather. Mhm.
Right, which we know you love cartoons. Have we heard your voice in any
So
uh,
my secret.
Maria is a huge she loves cartoons. As a matter of fact, when I first saw Maria perform live, there was a segment in her show where she actually did a cartoon medley.
You remember that? Oh my God,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness, I was a fan. I would come and sit. I started memorizing your half of your set. So, absolutely. So have we heard your voice in any, movies or anything for you with you doing voiceovers?
Actually, yeah, it's really interesting, in Hidden Figures, I played the part of a school teacher, but then as in the scene where she's still a little girl,
I
and then
remember
it
that.
segues into her writing on that glass chalk or board or whatever,
Mhm.
the clear board. I'm talking, you see me, then all of a sudden I do a voiceover, which is I've never seen a mind like the one your daughter has. So I segue it from her childhood to her adulthood. That's the example in a movie setting. But right now, currently, I'm in a cartoon. I play a cartoon character in the Ellen DeGeneres. It's called Little Ellen, and I played Tallulah of Tallulah's Beignets.
Oh, okay.
So I get to be a cartoon character. That's on HBO Max. So you've heard me on on regular commercials that you probably wouldn't even know it's me.
So as a voiceover artist, have you read books or done anything of that nature?
I actually have. I've done 8 books for, if anybody is familiar with the author Kimberly Lawson Roby. I've done 8 of her books. I've done others, but hers specifically, I was extremely thrilled because she was a New York Times bestseller.
I remember her.
And
I have some of her
yeah,
books.
and when I did her first book, I'm like, okay, I'm never going to do another audio book because this is grueling.
A lot of
Okay,
right.
but I was called back to do her second book, and then fast forward, I've done 8 of her books,
Okay.
and then we've become friends. So yeah, I've done audiobooks as well.
So for audiobooks, how long does it take to read all of those pages?
Okay, I'm sorry, that's a whole other show. It can, it's a trip because you take like 300 pages of a book, and I have
Mhm.
to read the book ahead of time. I
Mm.
don't read the whole book. I read like a segment of chapters. Then I
Uh,
break it down. I get all the characters mapped out and everything. But I would say about a 300 page book, it could take a week, depending on your schedule. And we're talking 4 to 5 hours of sitting still, of just sitting still in front of a
that
microphone.
that's a long time,
Yeah.
but when you're as amazing as you are, I mean, that's why you're getting to do 8 books. So, just to segue a little bit, where did it all begin for you? Did you get into singing first, or was it acting?
It actually, I started singing before I started professionally. The Color Purple was my segue into amateur to professional.
Mhm.
And that fortunately was a role that required me to sing and act.
Wow.
So I kind of hit 2 birds with one stone on my first time out the gate. And
Mhm.
then all I wanted to do was be in a band.
Mm.
And my mom and dad would not let me join a band in high school. They made sure I had to graduate from college before I ever joined a band. I'm so glad they did because they took all the desperation out of it for me. And then when I started singing, The Color Purple is how I started singing professionally because the band that played at the rap party
Mm.
asked me to join in. And next thing you know, I got a call. They asked me to join their band. And 5 years later is when I started back acting. There was a 5-year break.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask you another question. Do you come from a musical family?
I do. I do. My mom used to play trumpet. She
Mhm.
actually was my very
Oh,
first vocal coach. My
mm.
mom taught me how to sing harmony. And
Love
By the
that.
time I got to high school and college, I could hang with the rest of them because I'm not a music major
Oh, wow.
or
Well,
or theater major.
we're going to have to take a quick commercial break and we're going to come right back so that Maria Howell can tell us all about her Color Purple experience. We're going to take a short pause for the cause and we'll be right back on the Tracy Hamlin Show.
No funny business now.
No, ma'am.
This magic you speak of breeds consequence. This is the makings of a plague, Esther. The spirits will turn on you. Please, Ayana.
How are you doing today, Mrs. Easel?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, DJ. What relevance does that have to the matter before this board?
Well, the remaining fingers were never found.
I'm not lying.
Don't you lie to me, Stevie.
I'm not lying, Mom.
Don't you dare lie to me.
I didn't hurt her.
Let's do this. Push. Here we go. Let's do it.
And it's a girl.
Oh, I think you can help me.
If I were you, I would say yeah.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dancehall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo.
Are you ready for the Tracy Hamlin Show? Are you ready for the Tracy Hamlin Show?
Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to the Tracy Hamlin Show, where we have an amazing artist with us today, Miss Maria Howell. She's an actress, a singer, and a voiceover artist. So when we left off, we were about to get into the Color Purple.
Mhm.
So tell us about the Color Purple experience. I mean, what was the audition process like? How did Steven Spielberg find you?
This, I look back on it now, and there are so many things that I still remember and that are revealed, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even really think about it back then. I was simply suggested to go and audition for this movie. It was a cattle call, and there were about I want to guesstimate about 3,000 people were auditioning that day.
Oh my word, 3,000 people.
Huh?
3,000 people. That is quite a bit.
Yeah, it was an all-day effort, 8-hour day.
Mhm.
It was on the campus of A&T State University in North
Mhm.
Carolina. And I remember I don't know what the part was that I was auditioning for. They would take us up on the stage in groups, And make a long story short, they would be like, okay, thank you, that's enough. They never asked us to sing or anything. So at the end of the 8-hour day, I remember saying to the casting director, I sing. Oh, no, no, I didn't. I asked her, I said, would you keep my photo on file? That's all. I had low expectations. And
Well,
she said, well, sure. And I said, oh, and by the way, I sing. And she says, oh, yeah. So she asked me what I knew. And I sang God Bless the Child in her ear with my hand cupped because I was so shy and, kind of bashful to sing out loud. I didn't want to draw attention. And then she asked, do you know any gospel? And I'm like, sure. Went off to the side, gave me 5 minutes, worked something up, came back on stage alone this time, realizing after the fact that was my screen test.
oh my. So
All my friends had left.
this was your very first audition?
Wow. And then after that audition, it went to another level of auditioning for the solo spot, because there were actually 3 songs in the movie, and each song had its own, thing. And this particular song, God Is Trying to Tell You Something, was the one that was visual in the movie and required a soloist. And I found out 24 years later that the breakdown, as they call it in the industry, or the specs, I didn't fit the specs.
So did you ever find out what the specs actually were?
Yes, I did.
And
Older, heavier than me, bigger than me because I'm petite. They wanted a stereotypical, whoever had that vision of what a choir soloist was supposed to be in a traditional Black gospel choir. And the person that was Quincy Jones' right-hand man, Stephen Ray, said, no, I want her because she looks like my mom. My mom sang on the choir.
I love that.
I didn't find that out until 24 years later.
24 years later. So your first experience in auditioning was in a Steven Spielberg movie. I mean, where do you go to after that?
I went to George Lucas after that for Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I had no idea that I was at the cream of the crop level at the beginning. I was so green. And but reality set in as going on. Yeah.
You went from Spielberg to Lucas. Okay, but let's go back to Spielberg for a moment. So when did you know that you had that? Because there's so many iconic scenes in that movie, and yours is absolutely one of them. So when did you know that? I mean, did you think all 3 of those songs were going to be in the movie, or did you know it was going to be your song?
I thought, because I was a featured extra, I thought, because the word on the street was they were cutting a lot of scenes from the movie. I just assumed that my scene might get cut. So I never really counted on it. I had no idea, because when you're in the acting industry, as we know, when you don't have an opportunity to read the whole script, you don't know where your scene fits in context.
Right.
So I didn't really know until I saw the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until maybe 10 years ago that I realized you can record videotape for a show. And I mean, I remember one time I was in a situation where they videotaped us for 12 hours. And when they actually showed the show on BET, I was in 25 seconds. And amazingly, people saw me. I was like, hey, that was me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting, all of that time that you put in. So the song, God's Trying to Tell You Something. Everybody knows that song. Everybody knows that scene. Can you sing a little bit of that for us, please?
I can.
Yeah. It's so interesting because you still look exactly like the person in the choir. So,
oh my God.
Interesting.
Yeah. Thank God the hairdos have changed. But anyway, here we go.
You still look, I mean, I remember when I first met you, I thought, I know her. She was in that movie. But yes, just a little piece of it, because everybody loves that song. And wait a minute, let's do a reenactment.
Okay.
From the movie, they said, sing God's trying to tell you something. Sing God's trying to tell you something.
Sing God's trying to tell you something. Okay. Then the daddy turns around, sing God trying to tell you something. Okay. Then everybody goes, yes. Okay. I'll just start at this part.
Okay.
If I were you, I would say yes. Speak, Lord. Speak to me, oh, speak, Lord. I was so blind, I was so lost until you spoke to me. Oh, speak, Lord, speak to me. Speak, my Lord. Yes, speak to me. Now, let me give a little caveat there, a little disclaimer.
Okay.
I covered my part and Suge's part, which is Tata Vega singing the other part.
Right.
Yeah,
And you've
yeah.
since
Also a
become
friend of mine.
friends with Tata Vega, right?
Say it again.
You've since become friends with Tata
Yes.
Vega. Are you having issues hearing me? Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. So, so let's go back to, so you were talking about Suge Avery and Tata Vega.
Mhm.
I know that it's called Miss Seeley's Blues, but I call it Sister, Sister, Sister.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, great, great song. And I remember when I met you back in 2006, and I would come out to hear you sing.
Mhm.
That was one of the songs in your repertoire.
And-
And I would come and say, are you gonna sing? Are you gonna sing Sister, Sister?
And it's
So,
interesting because the reason why I sang that song is because that was an easier song to sing. It was doable
mhm,
because the other song requires a choir.
right.
And so people started thinking I was Suge Avery, and I'm like, no, I'm the one on the choir because I was singing Sister.
I remember everybody just thought you guys, you know, they thought that was you in the movie as well.
Yeah.
But it's such a great song. What does that song mean to you?
Oh gosh, that's like the sisterhood song of life. That's like the anthem.
Yeah.
I have sung that song so much. Even when I resided in Japan, I sang it there too. It's one of those songs where it's like sisters, women come together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We look out for each other, and it
Mhm.
encompasses that.
Yes,
So yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, just the melody and the way that you sing it. I mean, you guys have got to experience Maria Howell live because she is just fantastic, authentic, versatile, just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So let's go back to when the movie The Color Purple was released and
Mhm.
your family and friends saw the iconic scene that you were in. What was the reaction? What was the response?
Well, my reaction was tears of relief because I realized I didn't get cut out of the movie. Let's start there. Now, my dad, on the other hand, God rest his soul, my dad got up out of the chair and walked out of the theater because it was overwhelming to see his child that large,
Mm,
visually. It's
right.
I'll never forget the first time I did a musical. I was a star of the musical for the National Black Theater Festival in 1991. And in the audience was Sidney Poitier, uh, 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 Brock Peters, Harry Belafonte,
Wow.
Rosalind Cash. All of these iconic Black stars were in the audience.
Legendary.
Legendary.
Mhm.
And my mom and dad attended, and I'll never forget my dad said to me, same thing how he treated The Color Purple back in 1985, 86. He
Mhm.
said, I didn't know you had it in you, baby girl. And I just broke down. So yeah, my family was extremely proud. That launched my career.
Wow, that is just such a great story. Do people still come up to you asking about the role, talking to you about the role?
Not only do they come up and do that, they act it out. And we're talking 36, 37 years ago now. Oh no, they act out the whole scene. It's
Amazing.
cute. It's really cute for
Yeah,
me.
and I mean, I know that even in some of the Tyler Perry movies and TV shows, he has constantly just replayed so many of, you know, the different scenes from The Color
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, I used to love hearing you sing Miss Seeley's Blues. I call it Sister, Sister. Can you give us a little bit of, just a little bit?
Yeah.
Just a little
Oh
bit.
yeah. Sister, you've been on my mind. Oh, sister, we're two of a kind. So, sister, come on, everybody. I'm keeping my eyes on you. I bet you think I don't know nothing but singing the blues, oh, sister. Have I got news for you? I'm something. I hope you think that you're something too.
Yes. Woo, 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 woo. Okay. I could just do this all day. It's so interesting. With me being a singer too, folks are always saying, Tracy, sing this, sing this. And so I hope you don't think I'm treating you like a jukebox. But
aren't we all human jukeboxes though? Seriously?
I tell you.
It's one of the biggest compliments I've ever had is when people think you can sing anything in the world.
Yes.
And I'm like, this voice doesn't do that. I'm not Minnie Riperton. I am an alto. You know what I'm saying? But it's a big compliment when people think you can sing their favorite song, because that speaks deeper than just the song itself. It says something about the essence of you and your persona and your love and your compassion in life. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're one of those people that folks will say you could sing the phone book and they would absolutely love it. So
and vice versa.
wow. But we're talking about you, man. We're talking about you. So I think it's that time for us to take another commercial break. Time just flies when you're having fun. So we're going to take another pause for the cause, and we will be right back with Miss Maria Howell.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Randy Dennis. Our next performer, in our opinion, is one of the most exciting in our industry. She's just back from her world tour, and she is something else. Here to perform her latest hit, Stand By, on the DMH record label. Put your hands together, gang, for Tracy Hamlin.
Too many nights I've been all alone, looking for you to call me on the telephone. I've waited as long as anyone would do, but what more do I have to tell you? You can't keep my love on standby. Over and over, I've been waiting, baby. You can't keep my love on standby. Over and over, yeah. Too many tears and too many days of working 9 to 5. Sometimes I can't believe that I'm still alive. And when I get home, I'll wait for you. 'Cause you said you make me feel brand new. You can't keep my love. You can't keep on my standby. Over and over, I've been waiting, baby. Can't keep my love on standby. Standby.
Hello, and welcome back to the Tracy Hamlin Show, and welcome back again to our amazing guest, Maria Howell. Maria Howell, an actress, a singer, and an amazing voice artist.
And
Yes.
a mimic artist too, because
Um,
you can't keep my love, won't stand. Girl, that's I'm gonna leave that alone.
It's so interesting. I was just in the zone and it kind of caught me off guard, like, oh my gosh. And we're back. Yes. So I'm so excited that you're here with us tonight, Maria. Your journey has absolutely inspired me. You've been a mentor and sometimes my therapist. So thank you for, taking this ride with me.
Absolutely, girl.
Before we get into your singing career, let's talk a little bit about your auditioning process. You touched on it earlier, but a lot of people, they just see movies, lights, action, and they don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes. So when you are preparing for an audition, what kind of time is that, and how long before you actually know if you got the part?
Do you have time tonight? Can
Ah,
you talk about that? Okay, seriously, it's case by case. There are general rules, but I'll do my best to condense this as quickly as possible. It
mhm,
depends on if it's TV or if it's film, if it's commercial, or if it's voiceover,
mhm.
because I do all of those things. And
So,
I'll just take TV and film.
okay.
I get an audition. Some things are offered to me.
Mhm,
Some things I just get cast, but then there are quite a few things I audition for.
mhm,
And there are breakdowns. I only audition for the things that fit me in most cases.
mhm,
I look things over. I look at my calendar because I say, okay, now you need to carve this amount of time out because this is going to require some depth of time. Some things I'm like, well, I know what that is. I got that. I can do that quicker.
mhm,
It just depends. It's a case by case
mhm.
situation. I memorize my lines. I typically, especially if it's a character that I really feel a connection with immediately, I
Mhm.
become that character in my everyday walk. As
Yeah,
as
it's always amazing to me to watch you, like when you were Grace in Revolution.
mm,
And I mean, every time I see you, I don't, you're so into character that
mm.
I almost forget that I know you. So, but that just speaks to how amazing you are as an artist. So when you're auditioning, sometimes it's a two people, and like you said with Color Purple, it's 3,000. I mean, how often are you up against that many people? Is it
I
normal or
honestly don't know how many people I audition against. That it was an isolated situation
oh,
because
because it was a cattle call?
that was one of the few times I've ever been at a cattle call. For the most part, because I have representation now. That was the only role I had that I did not have an agent.
Mhm.
I got an agent after that. And so
Oh.
the things that are sent to me are more specific to me and my type.
Mhm.
Um, and then there are things where I've auditioned and I'm asking my agent, I'm like, why am I auditioning for this? Because I'm not that old. And
Mm.
my agent kindly and gently says to me, we want new eyes to see you. So I just shut my mouth and do what I need to do because I trust them, they trust me, and it's a collaboration.
Right.
So with all that said, I don't know how many people I'm auditioning against. I do what I do the best I can, and I keep it moving.
Mhm. So I know in The Color Purple you sang. Are most of your roles just acting, or do you ever go up for parts? Like for instance, we saw Andra Day in the Billie Holiday Story. Are you ever approached about doing a character or role where you also have to sing?
Absolutely, yeah. For the most part, though, I'm very glad that I was able to do roles that don't require singing, so I don't get pigeonholed as the choir soloist, because then it would be very limited opportunities for me. But
Mhm.
yes, I do, and even in voiceover, even for cartoons, my voiceover agents, they will send me things specific to characters that need to have singing abilities, which I love. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see you in a movie singing.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. You were talking about your agent. Um, because the music and I mean the acting industry has evolved so much, do you absolutely need an agent to get through the doors, or have things changed as they have in the music industry?
Not necessarily. This is my rule of thumb. There are several ways you can enter into the business You don't pay to get into the business though. I tell so many young people, especially when it comes to their parents, do not pay to get into this industry. It's different from modeling. That's a whole other genre. But as far as acting, we don't pay to get into the business.
Right.
So you have to be very, very careful. You can get into the business without an agent, start out doing theater, start out doing commercials, print, what have you. Even going on some of those cattle calls, taking extra roles until you get a footing so you know where you fit. Then you start seeking representation, unless you are that much of an anomaly that a prodigy or whatever, and somebody comes to you and wants to represent you, but don't let that hold you back just because you don't have an agent, because there are ways to get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So you are currently in Sacrifice with Paula Patton and Richard Roundtree. So what was the experience like had you met Richard Roundtree before?
I had not met either one of them before that role.
What was that experience like?
It was amazing. And I fell in love with them. They are wonderful to work with. Paula Patton is one of the best show leads that I've ever worked with. Richard Roundtree, I mean, what do you need to say?
So did you sing Shaft to him when you met him?
Almost every day. Okay. So here's the funny part. Here's the funny part is, some roles are just iconic and you can't shake them. He's going to always be Shaft. I mean, he's been many other things, but he's always going to be Shaft, right? So we're in hair and makeup one morning, and because they play music, and the Shaft comes on. So we do like this video. We're all getting our phones and we're like doing that Shaft is a bad Shaft. Like Shaft. We incorporated it into my singing show some. It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, if I were ever around him, I would absolutely do the same thing.
He is the most gentle, coolest person. I mean, it's always nice when you look up to people, admire their work, and then you get a chance to meet them, and even on top of that, get to work with them. Really? Yeah. And they are just the coolest.
Yeah, that's a huge blessing, because sometimes you can meet these folks that you've looked up to and they're not so nice. So it's awesome when you love them beforehand and you meet them and you continue to love them.
I choose kindness.
Yes, that is a blessing. So you have been in the industry for quite some time, and it's all ever evolving. How have you maintained longevity? Because you work, whether it's singing, doing voiceovers, or acting, you stay busy all the time.
Yeah, I think the key to my longevity is just being who I am. I'm the best Maria Howell. Period. Because I don't know how to be anybody else. When I am married to that and I'm committed to that, I'm fine, because I'm good in my skin and my own journey and all the ups and downs and the flaws and I only have this one life to live. So I'm a true believer in what God gifted me with. Do that. Make that better. Benefit others. Do good in the world. Don't worry about fame. Don't care. Comparison kills. We all have to fight off that envy thing, because earlier in my career, I was always like,
well, you know what? Can I stop you for a second? Yeah. Hold that thought, because it's time to go to a commercial break again. Hold that thought, and we're going to come back with Maria Howell on the Tracy Hamlin Show. We'll be right back.
You got one more moon dance with you, my love. I cannot just make tomorrow romance with you.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one. Temperature rise, clear vibes in ya, this a hot one. Link up, connect, bust a sweat when you're the on the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the Style Table where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style.
Are you ready for the Tracy Hamlin Show? Are you ready for the Tracy Hamlin Show?
Hello, and welcome back to the Tracy Hamlin Show. I was vibing to my theme song. Welcome back. Our wonderful guest today is Maria Howell, actress, songstress, song stylist, voiceover artist. So before I go to my next question, we ended the last segment with you talking about basically being authentic, which is what I love about you. You're so authentic. Did you want to finish your thought?
Okay, that was like an hour ago. I was enjoying,
Okay, right.
I was enjoying that.
I just said, hold
Simply,
up, we're going to come back. So I didn't want you to think I forgot.
it's okay. Simply said, I think I was simply saying that I am the best version of Maria Howell that I could be. I mean, I don't know how to be anybody else. And
Yeah.
that's what's been my longevity. I don't want to say secret, but that's my method.
Yeah, and again, that is what I absolutely love about you. When I see you on stage, Maria is just Maria. And as artists, I mean, I know at one point in my career, it was just a struggle as to how much of me do I give, how far back do I peel the layers. And it was a process to figure that out. And you figured it out. I mean, when I met you 15 years ago, you had it all figured out. So being your authentic self is the message to take from this, ladies and gentlemen. When you're on stage, be your authentic self.
Yeah.
So time is just flying, but I said we were going to segue to the music part of this. You are referred to as a song stylist. Now, we have singers and we have song stylists, and everybody doesn't know what that means. So could you share with us what is a song stylist?
Yeah, my definition of song stylist is I love to do covers and stylize them. For example, I love Nancy Wilson. I love Stevie Wonder. I love Carole King. I love Karen Carpenter, believe it or not.
Can I just interrupt for a second? You are the reason that I met Nancy Wilson. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, and you're welcome. That was a good time. So I love to take songs and kind of put my flair to them, if you will. For example, we just recently did a show in Charlotte, North Carolina at Middle C Jazz, a jazz tribute to Stevie Wonder. So we take songs, we rearrange them, we put our thing on them. So I reinterpret, which is like I said, my definition of song stylist. I'll take a pop song and jazz it up.
Yeah, can you give us an example?
Sure. Let me see. I'm trying to think of one of my favorite songs because okay. Like we'll take a song and swing it. And I love swing. So we did Nina Freelon an arrangement of hers, but we put our extra spin on it. So it's lately I have had the strangest feeling, with no vivid reason here to find. Yet the thought of losing you keeps hanging round my mind. You know, in that kind of vein. But you have to hear the drums and the bass under it, because the bass is walking. The drums are doing this nice little brush thing, and it's so cool. And Noel on a piano, I can't talk about it enough. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to hear that. Tell us about Noel, because is it mainly a duo, or do you sometimes have a trio? Tell us more about that.
We have different configurations. And I think I've told you this in the past too. Most of the songs that I perform are songs that can be broken down to just a voice and one instrument, which may be the piano or guitar. Noel Friedline plays piano. And he also sings, but he plays piano for the group NFQ, Noel Friedline Quartet. And so we sometimes do duos, we sometimes do trios, quartets, quintets. It depends on several factors, depends on the music that we're performing for that show. But in most cases, it's a quartet. And any song that I can take, whether it has background vocals, a sax, a trumpet, or whatever the instrumentation may be, if I can take that song and break it down to just vocals and piano or guitar, those are the songs I'm more attracted to.
Right.
You know.
Well, one of the things that I learned from you and I love about you, with all that you do, you continue to be a devoted supporter to charitable works. And so for me, with doing, when I do my concert series, when I do my jazz festival, I use music as a catalyst to give back to my community. And so, and again, you are a huge inspiration for that. So tell us a little bit about the organization that you support, along with the event that you have coming up to support it.
Oh, I'm so excited about that, because you're going to be a part of it. The organization is Students Without Mothers.
Yes.
And I became a part of that board of directors and advisory board after that, when I resided in Atlanta. And it's all about raising scholarships for high school seniors, whether male or female high school seniors who don't have their mothers in their lives, whether it's through death, incarceration, or any other unfortunate circumstance. So we raise scholarship funds to help them get to college. I was very drawn to this organization because I was in college on a scholarship. So, and I'm the oldest of 6. So I know the value of a scholarship.
Yes.
And although I had my mom, I couldn't imagine not having my mom at that time. And since then, my mother has passed on, but I could not imagine going through college without my mother. So I was very drawn to this organization. And as a result, as my fundraiser, being a board member, you know, several of us have different fundraisers that we do. I came up with this concept. I always wanted a female jazz group. So I did that back then. It's gone through its iterations now, but GIG is Girls in Gowns.
Girls in Gowns.
Girls in Gowns. And so, because I always wanted to grow up and sing in a gown. So classy.
I know, right? I love it.
You know, just don't.
And you do it so well.
Thank you so much. So we all the performers wear gowns, and it's all about women performing, coming together and showcasing. And the thing, the great thing about it, we don't all have to sing the same style of music. That's what's so amazing about it. So we're going to be having that, and people will get the word, and you are going to honor me with your presence.
I am so excited to participate in my first Girls in Gowns with Maria Howell. And can we say who the third person is?
Yes.
Miss violinist, Miss Karen Briggs, who is phenomenal. So it's going to be amazing to just share the space with you two.
Oh
I'm
so excited. I'm so excited.
Yes.
That's my main charity. I have a couple of other charities. One is Tosco Music, and the other is Ava's Heart. And then I'm also, a fourth one is the James M. Dixon for Alzheimer's. So I do a lot of work with that.
Yeah, it's so important to give back. And I love that you are using your platform to just do some important works, and giving back. It's just so important. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So what is next for Maria Howell?
Well, right now, look, I always tell people, I make a joke, but it's really truth. We're always looking for jobs. You know, we live in the abstract.
Mhm.
And so it's always like, okay, what's next? When's that next gig? You know, we're maintaining, but when's that next gig? Right now, though, I've got the 2 shows on TV, one on BET Plus, which is what you mentioned before,
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice, and
Mhm.
the other is actually a cartoon on HBO Max. I have to remember these. There's so many streaming
Oh, I
stations now.
know. Oh, but you're doing
HB
a great job of keeping up. I'm impressed.
I've got it written down here. HBO Max is Little Ellen. That Ellen DeGeneres has a cartoon, and
Uh-huh.
I play a recurring character on that, Tallulah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, again, time flies when you're having fun. How do people connect with you? What are your social media links? I'm telling you guys, if you've never heard Maria live, you need to go and check her out. She is phenomenal. So, Maria, can you share your social media links with us?
Absolutely. On Instagram, it's Maria Sings Acts. On Twitter, same thing, Maria Sings Acts. On Facebook, Maria Howell fan page. Easiest thing in the world, just go to mariahowell.com and they're all there. You can just click buttons and stuff like that.
So look her up, guys. And lastly, I would love to leave our viewers
Mhm.
with a nugget of inspiration. Do you have anything you'd like to share to inspire and encourage?
Absolutely. I always tell people life is too short, live it.
Mm, that's a good one.
Choose kindness and live it.
Choose kindness. Life is too short. Live it. Choose kindness. Well, thank you so much, Maria, for being the very first guest on the Tracy Hamlin Show. We wish you nothing but the best, and I know that you will continue to soar. So, again, everybody, I just had an amazing time. It really, really flew by, right?
I know, and it's just cool to spend time with my friend. I don't get to see you enough.
Well, in closing, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is Dorothy Marie Hamlin's baby girl, Tracy Hamlin, signing off. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. See you next week, and ooches of smooches. Oh. Hey everybody, I'm Tracy Hamlin, and I'm so excited to share that I'm going to be coming your way every Monday night for an entire hour to spotlight some phenomenal unsigned artists from around the globe, as well as some amazing small businesses from my area that you need to know about. I'm also going to throw in a song or two. Yeah, something like that, a little something like that. Now, I'm going to need you guys to tell all your friends, your cousins, your aunties, your bosses, come on in here and join us. We're going to have so much fun. You don't want to miss this. I'll see you soon. Ooches of smooches. Are you ready? Tracy Hamlin Show. Tracy Hamlin Show. Tracy Hamlin Show.